working with colleges around the US. We've got a big data set of these personal statement essays. These are the essays that you write when you're going to go to college and you're telling the admissions office who you are. You're telling your own life story. You're talking about what it is that makes you, you, right? We've got actually more than 500,000 of those, but in this work, we looked at about 160,000 of them, and we just wanted to ask this question. What's happening with these personal statements, these life stories, after the advent of LLMs, once GPT came out? So we looked at them before versus after the release of GPT in 2022. Found something really interesting. So if you just look at the words that are being used, those words are getting more varied, more heterogeneous, but this is just the words. This is just on the surface. If you look at the ideas, what we see is that somehow, magically, about 2022, everybody's life story got a lot more similar, right? And so this is one of the things that we have to be really careful about, because when you look at the essay and you think, wow, this looks so creative, this looks so great, it looks so distinct, a lot of that is because of the words, not the ideas. This isn't just abstract. This is the way that people are now describing their own lives. AI models the product, not the process, right? The output, but not the thought. And the thought is where the individual meaning is integrated. And that's why the thing that AI doesn't do is you, right? That looked a little cooler when I first made it, but that's my simple PowerPoint skills there. But that's cool, right? It's cool that AI doesn't do you. And it's cool that you being you has value, and we're seeing that in the heterogeneity of the data that we look at.
I can appreciate this homogeneity problem, and it's certainly crippling right now for students if that's what they're trying to rely upon. Many of us remember last year that Demis Hassabis and John Schumpeter actually received the Nobel Prize in chemistry for their algorithm that did protein folding. It solved a decades-long chemistry problem, the protein folding problem. Remarkable stuff, and no one saw that coming. Do you see a Nobel Prize being given to an algorithm unto itself without the authors involved?
I think it would probably be silly to make a strong prediction at this point. If you're talking in terms of a Nobel Prize for a breakthrough, I think it's possible. I think there are some reasons to believe that actually LLMs have been around long enough that if this wave, anyway, of how LLMs are built was going to produce major breakthroughs on its own, it probably would have already happened. So some AI creativity researchers are questioning just how truly new, how truly sort of groundbreaking AI creativity is going to be. I think it's still early days. I think if we were talking about the internet in 1996, we might have been a little underwhelmed, and now it's a little better than it was, right? So I think that's something to keep in mind. But I think when it comes to what AI is leaving out, I think that's probably, at least from the perspective of brain health, but also from the perspective of creative value, something that we're not focusing on enough, right? So one of the things that we're showing is that even when AI is coming up with very good ideas, it's at the expense of a bunch of good ideas that are left out, right? The human range of ideation actually covers. It's not just about the product for humans, right? It's about the process of being creative, thinking creatively, and the value that has for your well-being, for the experience of being a creator, the challenge, the learning, the growth that happens. Creativity has a lot of benefits for healthy aging, and it has a lot of therapeutic benefits. We see it used even in post-traumatic stress, actually. All of these are aspects that go beyond just what might win you a Nobel Prize and go deeper to what is the value of the process itself. But even if we're just talking about product, right now, I'm not convinced that AI is going to be on its own a groundbreaking agent.